So let's go to Twitter just for a minute, and we'll go back to this stuff, which is more interesting to me.
I try to get out of the deal.
Well, you told me you wanted to ask.
To get out. Dragging me back in. I reminded that scene from The Godfather, basically.
But you told me you wanted to ask tough questions.
I try to get out. Dragging me back in.
So in Twitter.
What could possibly go wrong?
So I saw this article. It says you bought something called Twitter. And it says, Musk puts off lifting Twitter bans. And so obviously the big deal, to me anyway, in Twitter is that, we have this incredible, so it was incredibly poorly managed, this business. And, but those guys somehow did great for their shareholders by selling it to us. Right? But we didn't buy what they're selling. We bought something of what it's going to become.
Yes. I mean, I think it's, most people would say, like, given how the market has evolved this year, the price is on the high side.
Right. Right. But that's on the basis of what it is.
Yes. But in terms of what I think there is a tremendous amount of potential that it will be very difficult to achieve, but I think possible. And I think ultimately it could be one of the most valuable companies in the world.
So when we think about this, in order for that to happen, so I met you and it took me a few years, and then I believe in you and your heart, right? Your heart. And so,
I think you were skeptical. At our first meeting, you were a bit skeptical.
And so the way I think about it is that, so I'm trusting you with the future of our country, of the world, actually, when you're in charge of a media like that. And so what I think about is, so how do you prevent, so being Jewish, how do you prevent this anti-Semitism? Or if I were black, how do you prevent all of the... So how do you prevent the use of the N-word? And when I think about TikTok, and they're able, we're just looking at pictures, to tell what you're going to do. You know, you move your left arm, you move your right arm, other pictures you like. So that's what they do with their software, and they're great, their algorithm. How can we not have an amazing algorithm? Because we know more about them to do with TikTok, and we ought to know what interests people have. And because of that, in words, we should be able to figure out words that people are using, what that means, and considering what content they're interested in. We should be able to figure out with software how to moderate this and prevent that from happening. Is that true or not?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Totally agree. I want to be clear. Content moderation policies have not changed at Twitter, and it is not okay to engage in hateful conduct on Twitter. We have had actually oddly targeted attacks where temporarily people have been able to put some hate speech on Twitter, but then it's been taken down immediately. So now, part of what I'm trying to achieve with this sort of enabling everyone to be payment verified with Twitter Blue is to try to get as many people payment verified as possible. It's only $8 a month, although for some people that were complaining about that, and these are people who pay more than that for their latte.
I'm going to be one of your Twitter Blue customers.
Thank you. But it's part of its revenue, part of it is payment authentication, and so if somebody, because there is a huge problem with spam and bots and trolls on Twitter, and organizations trying to manipulate public opinion, and just generally making the system worse. And I think that there is an answer to that, which is to get as many regular users of Twitter to be a subscriber for $8 a month. And you'll get a lot more than just a blue check mark for $8 a month, because now we can afford long-form video, long audio, podcasts, and we can also start sharing revenue with content creators, which is essential.
Give them a chance to make money.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so, I mean, right now, if you're on Twitter, you'll see a lot of links posted to YouTube and TikTok, and that's because, at least until now, Twitter has not even given them enough video length to post their video, and then they give the content creators no means of monetizing the video. So we're going to change that rapidly at Twitter. It's going to be transformative. But if we can get enough verified users, and we're going to prioritize Twitter search, replies, mentions by verified users first, and yeah, this is very.
And that's what calls amplified.
Yes. If you're payment verified with blue checkmark, then you're prioritized, and so this is the point of this is to make crime not to pay, because right now to create a bot on Twitter costs less than a penny. So the cost of crime is so cheap, and that's part of why crime and hateful conduct pays. But if somebody risks losing even $8, it's too expensive to now have 100,000 fake accounts, because they have to spend $800,000 a month, as opposed to $800 a month. So, and then we also, since we're using payment authentication, we're piggybacking on the authentication system of the payment system, and we're also piggybacking off of Apple's authentication system, which is another layer of security. So the net effect will be, over time, that the verified users will pretty much always be at the top of comments and search, and you won't really see. You'll have to scroll far to see the unverified users, which will be the bots and trolls and whatnot. And this is sort of analogous to Google search. Like, if you go to page 8 of Google search, there will be a ton of scams and stuff, call it page 8, page 9, something like that. But the thing is that Google search results are so good for page 1 that you never go to page 8. Or it's rare. And like the old joke is like,
So if something we don't want to see, it gets pushed way down.
yeah, basically the bad stuff gets pushed way down, and then crime stops paying, and then they stop trying to do all these things.
And we can recruit them as engineers to program for us, crime guys.
Yeah. So I mean, the joke is like, what's the best place to hide a dead body? Would be the second page of Google search results. Nobody ever goes there.
So today we fired half of Twitter, and that should save us, what, $4 billion a year?
No, it's not going to save $4 billion a year. I wish, but I mean, to be frank, Twitter was having pretty serious revenue challenges and cost challenges before the acquisition talks started, and any company that is dependent on advertising has had a hard time. So if you look at, say, Snap or Google, Facebook, whatnot, they've all had a difficult time with advertising revenue dropping. And Twitter is more currently more vulnerable than they are to advertising, because most of Twitter's advertising is large brand advertising as opposed to direct response. So it's kind of like a much more of a discretionary ad spend than it is for, like if you can do direct response for a specific product. So and then we also recently had a lot of difficulty with activist groups pressuring major advertisers to stop spending money on Twitter. This is despite us doing everything possible to appease them and to make it clear that moderation rules and hateful conduct rules have not changed, and we're continuing to enforce them. A number of major advertisers have stopped spending on Twitter. This doesn't seem right, because we've made no change in our operations at all, and but nonetheless, the activist groups have been successful in causing a massive drop in Twitter advertising revenue, and we've done our absolute best to appease them, and nothing is working. So this is a major concern, and I think this is frankly an attack on the First Amendment. Like, if activist groups can pressure advertisers upon which Twitter is fundamentally dependent to, suppress free speech, then that doesn't seem right.
Check out our channel for more videos if you like this one. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay updated on our latest videos. Don't forget to hit the like button.